All right, so have you tried to collect your permanent voter cards? Were you successful? Did you relocate from one place to the other? Have you tried getting registered? Do you have challenges, questions for all of those? We'll have a man who should provide us answers to some of these questions. Markwe?
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. He's smiling here in the studio because I'm sure he has ready those answers. He's Mr. Solomon Shoyebi, who is a National Commissioner, Voter Education and Publicity, and he joins us in our Abuja studio. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
We also have with us Mr. Emmanuel Anene, who is a legal practitioner. Mr.
Thank you for having me.
And good morning, Thank you for joining us. So let me start with you, Mr. Shoyebi. Yesterday on Sunrise Daily, I painted a very it was a very personal scenario, really. I was trying to get people to, motivate people to let them know that we don't just preach here. We also, feel their pain. I talked about how I moved places from Lagos to Abuja. I was already in the process trying to think about how to, move my polling unit or my, is it polling unit now or polling station?
Transfer of.
Yeah, get a transfer. Sadly, my card got missing. So if there are many more Nigerians in my situation, where should they start from?
Thank you very much. Now, if you go on our apps, you can check your voter status on the INEC apps. That is inecreg.org. You can check there are steps by which you can check your voter status.
No, that's INEC-REG.
Yes, ORG.
Okay.
Yes, .org. But the most important thing here is that I will give the address of the website before you leave. But the most important thing is that we have platform now where you can check your status online.
What do you need to check your status? Don't you need your voter's card to do that?
You don't need it. Once you go there, it will tell you, it will show your name, it will not show your address, and it will give you your VIN number. What you need here now is your VIN number in case you have lost your card, as was your own case. Go down to the new intended polling booth. It's not a polling booth per se, but go to the local government and indicate the polling booth where you want to register. You get a lateral transfer from your old station. We are aware that so many people have lost their cards, and some people have used this to even effect transfer of their voter status.
Okay, so it's not a unique.
The card is not. Or even transferring your voter status.
Yeah, but it's still, INEC has been doing a lot of meetings and times. You saw one yesterday with the Inspector General of Police, and in that particular meeting, about vote buying. He's very concerned about vote buying. Inspector General to pay close attention to that particular matter, especially the Osun and Ekiti elections approach. How big a problem is that for INEC? And is it still possible, in spite of the fact that we have this permanent voter cards, and it looks like it's still up for sale somehow?
Well, it's not even the cards that they are selling. It's this syndrome which they themselves pay as you vote. What they do is that you have some people with money around the
working in that to ensure that we correct those freezing pictures you just saw. But yes, we're going to continue focusing on the elections, and that's what we're saying. If you've got any challenge picking up your permanent voter cards, if you have any challenge getting yourself registered, I was just going to tweet that now. So yes, it's out there. You could share your experience, your thoughts with us, and we'll direct those questions to INEC and hope that they provide answers or news or information that you can use. But now, INEC also talking about registration, vote buying. If you heard those challenges or speculations, let's see what or how he addresses it here.
Let me, on behalf of the Commission, welcome the Inspector General of Police for what is essentially a routine visit in preparation not just for the 2019 general elections, but of the two major elections that we are conducting this year before the 2019 general elections. Here we are specifically referring to the governorship elections holding in Ekiti and Osun states. We'll be happy if the police will deploy special forces, beginning with Ekiti and Osun, to ensure that what transpires at the polling units is nothing but the will of Nigerians. Only the votes cast freely by citizens will determine who wins the elections, not inducement of citizens by the use of cash at polling units during elections. I'm confident that given the level of cooperation and synergy we have with the police, this matter will be addressed.
So there you go. He says that, well, if anyone has the intention to go there and induce the electorate with cash, the police will be on hand, perhaps in conjunction with INEC, to ensure that they sort this out. So he's suggesting, if you perhaps have heard previously that prosecuting electoral offenders may be an issue, as a result of that, you may want to latch onto that, thinking that the wheels of justice grind slowly. He's suggesting that you need to think again. But it will be interesting to see how they sort that out, because how do you determine if somebody is determined to go ahead or there's a pre-agreement concerning that? How will all of that play out on the field? Well, let's get back to Abuja and get my colleagues to continue with their line of questioning.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. We do apologize for that little break. You would seem in transmission. We simply went off all of a sudden. But Mr. Shoaib is still here with us in the studio, and you were answering that question. I mean, Chamberlain just posed one now as to how it's going to be implemented. I mean, how do we know that even the security agencies might not be affected by this buy-in or votes that INEC is talking about?
Well, from my observation so far, this has been carried out by politicians. A man will come down to the area with a car, and then at the back of the car you'll find loads of money. And during the Anambra election, even the police themselves were a little bit helpful in apprehending the culprit, the first culprit that we saw. So it is only fair to absolve them of any blame at this level. We have not seen any complicity so far from all observations on part of the security agents. So, as I said, well, proactively we have to nip this in the bud, because it's beginning to play a recurring role, at least in elections. We cannot close our eyes or fold our arms and pretend that this does not happen. We've seen it. We saw it in Edo. That was why we first saw it very blatantly. It happened in Ondo, and again, with all the threats, with all the advice, with all the warnings, we saw it in Anambra. So we believe it's an issue which we must address now.